I'm here doing my best Steve Jobs impression.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I bought it for him.
Though I'm wearing the wrong glasses. Didn't you have little round glasses?
Yeah, but you would look silly.
I looked pretty good when I had those before they got lost.
They weren't that small.
No, they were. They were a little bigger. White gold. Oh well.
Oh well.
Happy Friday.
Yay.
Like it or not, it's Friday.
I like it.
You do?
That means tomorrow we get to go to the nursery and I get a new plant.
It's true. We're going to go see the turtles.
Yep, there are turtles there.
There are turtles, and the kids love the turtles. And that's all good. I think we should take the cats this time.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Kraken would love looking at the turtles.
Oh, I just meant running around in the nice humidity.
Where things grow naturally.
Well,
not naturally.
No.
where things grow.
Yes, they grow.
Yeah, the only real crops in Colorado are rocks, dead grass, dust, yuccas, and dirt. That's that's all you get here.
And cottonwoods.
Yeah, and cottonwoods.
I don't know. I don't have anything to talk about. We have so many questions.
We do?
That's what you told me.
Well, I don't know. I think it's sort of double spacing, so let's hope for the best. Okay, let's go.
Okay. From Mitchell Duhan. Quick question. Are the chronograph hands on a 7828 a one-time fit like the 6139s, or can they be reset if they are misaligned? Love your videos. Thanks. Also, I used to have an MG Midget. Never stopped working on it, but lots of fun.
Never stopped working on it. That's what everybody says. But, I haven't gotten mine running yet to the point that I could tell how it's going to be. Yeah, like all those Seiko hands are one-time use, technically one-time use. But as long as they haven't been really mashed down, then the tube will not have stretched out. You can take them off, you can pull them off, and then set them carefully again, and they should be fine. There are ways, if the tubes are too wide open, there are ways to sort of crimp them up a little bit and get them to hold again. But yeah, it's the way that it goes. Let's see. Tom N. I'm not on social media, so here's a few random thoughts for a future mail call. Please compare and contrast 6139 to 7016 movements. So that'd be Sua versus Daini. I will have to think about how to do that to give us usable information, but it's a good question because they use comparable technology but a different place. You refer to watchmakers' marks inside of watches that have been serviced. Is there a standard to these marks? No, I wish there were. Everybody has their own marks that mean something to them, and most of the time they're unintelligible. What's up with the New Jersey Seiko Repair Center? No idea. I don't deal with them at all anymore. The last time I called there, the lady was so snotty to me. Oh, she really was.
Okay.
So I don't know. All I can say is that the work I've seen that went through there was not good.
Oh, I left because Sebastian was being quiet. But he wanted peanut butter and jelly.
And we happen to have one.
Yes, I was like, oh, that's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Spencer and Sabrina. I've watched your repair videos where a time grapher is used to initially determine the health of a movement. I also have a time grapher that I would like to use to regulate my watches to tighter specifications than my unadjusted watches come with. My question is, as the watch ages, at what readings on a time grapher should a watch no longer be regulated until it is serviced? Also, if all the friction points on a watch were jeweled, in theory, would the watch still need to be serviced?
Second point first, yes. Any machine's going to need to be serviced. What you're going to get if everything was jeweled is you would get longer service intervals and you would get less wear. You wouldn't get less wear on the pivots, and the jewels would not wear like a bushing would. On amplitude, I look at the numbers, and I look at if you've got flat accuracy in multiple positions, if it's clean output. But there's sort of a standard base amplitude. Rule of thumb is that it's 275. And that's kind of where you want to be. Seikos run less than that. They just do. They run lower. They have, I think in part because their mainsprings are not super burly. But for any Swiss watch, dress watch, you're going to want to be in that 275 minimum range. But say our Rolex 3035 or something else like that's going to run 280s to 300s easy. A lot of the Swiss chronographs will as well. They want to run higher. You don't want to go much too much higher than that, though, because then you'll get into the danger of overbanking, which is where, or knocking. It's where the balance turns too far.
We forgot to do wrist check.
Oh no! Let's do the wrist check.
Okay, it's wrist check time.
Woohoo!
Are you going first?
Okay, he was super excited.
Yep. That's a great watch.
It is.
With a great strap. This strap is actually, it's amazing. These straps are worth a lot of money, like a couple $100.
Really?
Yeah, because it's an original Swiss Tropic from like the 60s or the 70s. These were ones that Rolexes came on.
Hey, you just whacked me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's a really nice watch.
Wait, it's a Rolex?
Well, no, Rolex, these are suitable for basically any of those Swiss dive watches. Guys pay a lot of money for them.
So who makes them? Just
It's
generic?
literally, it's Tropic 2000, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the back. But it has the really nice buckle on it. Oh, you're taking it off on me?
Well, you said you wanted to look.
Yeah, it's got the really nice, like, buckle, the stainless buckle on it. Yeah, and you see it has the Tropic marking on it. That's the deal. That's the one that everybody's trying to replicate. Yep, that's a nice strap.
Yay.
And I am wearing an unusual watch for me because I've been going through all my watches. I'm wearing the Magnificent Jumbo.
Yay.
This is a great watch. This one came out of a watchmaker's estate in Denver, and it was in pieces. It was really weird. Like, it was literally like the case and everything were in one container, one tin, and then the movement and the dial and everything were in another. And I got them, and the caseback still actually has the caseback sticker. And this was the first watch that I ever made a custom Stellux bracelet for. This is vintage new old stock Stellux, and I modified the end links for like a Kakume or a 6105 from Jonathan Koch to fit this case and to fit this slot basically. And there it is. That's nice. That's what good looks like right there. What a beautiful watch. That's a classic. I mean, Seiko's stuff for 6138s is so wacky at this time, and this is just so much better. So cool. Okay.
I really should wear this more often. I don't remember where that little hairline scratch in the crystal came from.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
Doorknob.
It's, doorknobs. It's the destruction of civilization.
From Jorge Garza. Hi, I recently found a 6105, in a flea market in Mexico. It's an 8119. It still works, and I'm assuming it's all original. Also, I'd like to know more about the watch as far as its current value and discuss with you, if possible, your honest opinion on the watch.
What I would have you do is to send me an email to kvw at kleinvintagewatchrepair.com. Include just a couple good photographs of the watch. Not like everything, but like the case back and a good clear picture of the front of the watch so I can see the dial in the hands. And then we'll talk about it. Be happy to.
From Mitchell Duhan. Quick question. Are the chronograph hands on a 7828...
Oh, I already answered that one.
It's down here.
Did I? Oh, look.
You put it twice.
I put it on twice.
No wonder why we have so many questions. Now I need to actually pay attention to what I'm reading. Okay. From Slim Perkins. You guys have never had a banh mi? I never heard of it, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Oh man, the French influence steps into Vietnam and the banh mi is born. A fresh baguette usually has a pate spread, fresh cilantro, pickled daikon, carrots, jalapenos, and whatever meat you pick. My fave is a curry chicken, but you can't go wrong with pork or Viet meatball. Go find one, they're delish. Also Vietnamese iced coffee, Café du Monde coffee, and condensed milk over ice. Trust me, your mind will be blown. They're...
I don't even know that we have a Vietnamese restaurant in town.
Well, there's one, but it's just, the one.
Oh, the one that's over there?
Yeah, but it makes just regular Chinese food.
And last time we went there once and it was terrible.
Yes, and they still had 80s furniture in it.
Yeah, like seriously, like total like vaporwave aesthetics with tans and pinks and that kind of stuff and like abstract shapes on the walls. Whew.
Yeah. So I would love to try one, but I can't.
Nope. But we'll make a note of it.
Yes. I just had an idea. Well, no, I can't tell them, but I can tell you.
That's okay. They're not. They're not listening. They'll all plug their ears
Okay.
and be very quiet.
When we go somewhere, we can see if we can find one of those sandwiches.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, that's a good idea. Sure. Why not?
And then we'll let you all know.
Mm-hmm.
From Forbin Colossus, this one's spelled differently. Banh mai, or Vietnamese sandwiches, are traditionally cheap, as in $1 each. That's how I discovered them 15 years ago. They consisted of greasy, fatty meat with some brown sauce slathered over it. Today, they jacked up the prices and made them more elaborate. Regular old American sandwiches, wow, offer a lot more variety and include things like lettuce and tomato. Banh mai is a trend, not an improvement. Master your sandwich skills. It's assembling.
So we have on the other side of the Banh mai debate somebody who says overrated. What are you gonna do?
Eat one and give my opinion. From Randy Novick, lovely to see you this Friday. Sounds like Spencer's almost over his cold. I think he can hear me again, unless he chooses not
No,
to.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Nice to see the first Sabrina watch too. Yay! Very classy looking. Quick question. I recently picked up a King Seiko 5626-7000. Love it. Needs a new crystal, but I'm having a devil of a time finding one. Searching the net without results. It seems like they come with their own ring around the metal piece. Not sure if I should give up hope. Is there hope? Can I just schlep to my regular watchmaker to get an off-the-rack alternative? Thanks. All the best. P.S. One of my favorite YouTube channels features appearances by Kevin the Koala, so I have nothing but pleasant associations with the name.
Kevin. Oh, I see. No, that's one of Seiko's weird crystals. They're bonded, so you have glass bonded into a ring. The complete bonded crystal setup, those can be very hard to find. But what you do with those, if you have your original, is there's a way to get the old crystal out of that ring. I'm not going to go into length at it now. And then you get a generic hard Lex or sapphire that's the right millimeter thickness and width, and you use UV cure cement, and you put it back in, and then there you go, and you put it back in. That's how I get around those problems.
From Troy Nacello. Hey guys, I live in Louisiana and the summer heat here is just awful. It's very similar to Florida heat. Our humidity is nightmarish. I mean, you gotta grow gills to breathe outside. Air conditioning is your best friend.
I've never been to Louisiana.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not that far away from Florida. No, so it's gotta be the same.
Yeah, I guess.
guess.
Now I'm thinking about Princess and the Frog.
We had to go to Disney when we were in Florida, so it all ties together.
It all ties together in one horrible mass.
My mother's a Disney person. So. Anyway, Wood Squatch. I have a sweet 7548700F, the Storm & Norman, and couldn't agree more. It's a superb and very reliable tool watch.
Oh yeah, no, they're the best. They're the best. And the great thing about them is that they were purpose designed. They're never a fashion watch. They were never designed to be a fashion watch. They were specifically a tool watch, and they were all of their features are there for a reason. There's nothing extraneous. There's nothing special or added that is for looks or anything. The whole watch is purpose built. It's very Bauhaus in a way. Actually, they're great watches.
From Aaron Pederini. Thank you for the great videos. I found your channel by doing research for my newly acquired Seiko 6139-6005. The dial doesn't say proof or resist, but the case back says it's from September of 1971. Do you think this is a service dial, or is it late enough that it's a transition period? Thanks again.
The True Pogues, which were 6139-6005 gold dials, ran from I think They ran from February 1971 to April 1972. September 1971, that's the same month that Pogues was made. I would be curious, if you have time, send me pictures of your watch, the front and the back.
Could he have a Pogue?
Well, I know. Well, the caseback is a Pogue. That's September 71. It's a true Pogue, but it should have the true Pogue dial. But he's saying it has no text, which means it could be a replacement dial or something else. Send me pictures and let me look at it.
From Rob, when I was in the military, my favorite pizza was simply double cheese and pineapple. I used to order it all the time. That was it, double cheese and pineapple. So yummy. I got all excited to see the sparks fly when a question involved buying from the Philippines. Me sad it never happened.
You know, I've given out. The thing is, I think because I'm not the most diplomatic person, and I don't express myself clearly. There now is an impression among certain people down in the Philippines that I have an issue with the Filipino people themselves, which is not true. I only have issues with bad watches that get sold here by unscrupulous individuals who are located in the Philippines. So, I'm not going to go nuts about it, but, I think I just need to keep explaining myself until things are better or just let it drop.
Let it go.
Let it go. Wait, double cheese and pineapple?
I'd eat it.
Maybe.
You can't eat it. You're lactose intolerant.
Oh, I'd eat double cheese right now. Okay, let's go.
Where am I? There I am. From James Duffy. Thanks for the follow-up about your Timex. It is jeweled. He left. So that watch can be serviced and outlive us all. By the way, most Timex dials have text in tiny type at 6 o'clock, and the last 2 digits is its production year.
The last 2 digits on this, Timex 21, is 57. So this watch is from 1957, is that what you're telling me? I looked at the watch. It's... I haven't pulled the movement, but I did look at the watch. It's got at least 3 diafix settings on the back with springs on it and everything else like that. The only thing, if I was going to take it apart, I don't know how I would service it because it's riveted together. The plates are riveted together. I don't know how I would get out the mainspring barrel. The rest of it looks like it'd be pretty straightforward, and it's happy to run. I think after service it'd be fine. But anyway, those last 2 digits are 57. Is this watch from 1957? Is that possible?
Why wouldn't it be possible?
I don't know. What do I know about anything?
That'd be pretty cool. From John Boy of Alaska. Those 21 jewel Timexes have a detailed service manual. I have done one and ended up running very well. If you need the service manual, I can get you one.
Please.
It's very simple and surprisingly robust. Service it'll go back to the taking a licking and keeping on ticking.
Yeah. If you have the service manual, show it to me because I have a couple questions before I dig into it.
From Julie Hill, with any business, it's a case of trust between the customer and company. If that trust gets broken, you'll never get it back. I don't know what she's talking about.
She's just talking about trust generally. I think it's always a good thing to remember. I worry about doing the right thing for people constantly. I'm always worrying about making sure we do the right thing and that the things that I'm saying are correct and that I'm doing the correct thing for the customers to make sure that I don't ever want anybody to come back to us and say, hey, man, you pulled something over our eyes.
Well, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, I would never. But there are people in the watch world who cheat other people all the time. But I want us to do everything we can to be right. And because she's absolutely right. You lose trust and that's the end of it. Mm-hmm. Just like LL Bean.
What, you're wearing an LL Bean?
I am wearing my LL Bean, actually. No, LL Bean's just fine. I'm joking. Everything's cool.
We had a giant argument about it.
Yeah, I know.
From Inabit19. Hi, SNS, another entertaining mail call. The lightning quiz should be made a regular feature. I thought that was fun.
Sure, why not?
Plan your visit to Hawaii in the spring or fall. With global warming, our summers, late May to mid-November last year, are mostly days around 90 degrees with high humidity. Nothing wrong with pineapple on pizza. My son-in-law's favorite is pepperoni and pineapple. Even better when topped with thin sliced tomatoes right out of the oven. The 8306-1000 is working great. Wore it to my son's wedding last month. It looks awesome on the black alligator. Aloha, Steve C.
Hi, Steve. I'm glad the 8306 is running for you. That one gave me some fits. I'm still kind of marveling about that watch and the weird how much work it took to get that day wheel to behave. But I'm glad that it's working well. I always thought Hawaii was always 72, but oh well. What do I know?
Oh, sorry, there's a garbage truck driving by and I got distracted. And he did too. Why are you staring at the garbage truck?
That's waste management. That's not Ram. What are they running around today here for?
I don't know. I don't care. God, you're becoming a housewife. Where was I? Did I read this one yet? No, I don't think
No.
so. From Rick, thanks for the tip on tightening hollow end links. My SKX bracelet may get wear as a result. I admit I was riveted by your front yard drama. I hope the workers didn't do any damage to your shrubbery. No.
No, they didn't. But there's a big plastic tube, orange tube, coming out of the middle of the lawn between the two trees.
There's probably going to be wires in it.
Yeah, because they've got to run the fiber optics through. Hey, no problem on the end links. I mean, it's really important to have end links sit properly. Like this, the end links. This is a 6139 7002, and these end links are actually kind of rare, and they tend to be rattly. So you have to really kind of work them a little bit to get them so that they sit down, and the tabs underneath are up to hold it firmly. And then it's very nice, and it doesn't rattle at all. What?
Well, I'm worried about Sebastian, but I'm going to read more.
What? Well, I can. If you want to.
Well, because then we got a debate.
Well, I can go check on him.
Well, who am I going to debate with?
The nice people in the phone.
From Saulbrook, sandwich all day long. How is that even a question? My problem is I'm mostly a vegetarian. I had to start eating chicken because my fingers were going numb. But I don't really eat very much different kinds of meat.
And she won't eat sprouts. Like, you can't put, like, cream cheese and sprouts on a sandwich, which are great, because she won't eat the sprouts.
Because they're always being recalled for E. coli. Ew. I saw an article, I don't know, a year ago by some food inspector guy, and he said that that's the number one thing he will never eat. That, and he also doesn't like pre-cut produce.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I can get.
Because
But
the more people that touch it, the...
all I know is we had that sandwich from Chiba Hut, and mine had sprouts on it, and it was so good.
I know. I don't know. I don't want to die of E. coli.
Don't die of E. coli.
From Spencer Braithwaite. I actually just finished servicing an unjeweled Timex movement from 1975. It isn't easy to do it right, but if you get some practice with a few chunkers, it isn't too bad. I've just recently discovered your videos, and I really enjoy them. I'm also honored to share your first name.
You know, Spencer, there aren't very many. There used to be when I was a kid, there weren't any Spencers around, none. I don't think I met another Spencer until I was 14. So, yeah, but, you know, I've never met a Braithwaite, and that's a great name.
I'm going to go look at Sebastian.
Okay.
You're on top.
John Boy of Alaska, Mr. Boyarski. Now a question. Do you have a tip for working with the KIF, ? Or other, anti-shock springs on older watches, the triangular ones that aren't hinged, but rather rotating into place? I tried on an old Elgin with tweezers and was really afraid of bending it. Kinda worked until it took off into the ether. Thankfully, a 5-year-old with good eyes found it. Is there a tool for that? A trick I am missing? Thanks in advance for being the smart guy in the room. Well, I'm the only guy in the room right now, except for Milo, and I'm smarter than him, I think. So yes, I'm the smart guy in the room right now. I made a little video for you, so let's do that.
Okay, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Just to preface this, these are all, darn it, these are all uncleaned parts, okay? This is just stuff I grabbed out of parts bins and stuff like that. So no watches have been harmed in this. So anyway, here you have your Bergeon bridge holder, diddly thing there. You'll notice there's no balance on here. So all I'm doing is just dropping in the Dia-Shock setting. Here's the complete thing at the top of the cap jewel, and that gets dumped upside down into the thing because I dropped it, but that's okay because it's not something we have to worry about. Okay, so here I am. I'm looking at it now. See this little cutout right there? I always want that to be, this can be, because when Seiko did these, they just put them together willy-nilly. So that cutout can be anywhere, but I always like to have it ahead, above, in front of me, going up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to get some handy-dandy Rotico, and I'm going to get my Dia Shock spring. I'm going to hold it just like that. I'm just going to pin it just like that. So we bring this back in like so. And what I want to do is there's a couple ways you can do it. The most important thing is to have a really sharp, let's get the light in here, have a really sharp instrument with which to manipulate this. What you're going to do is you're going to tuck in, darn it, let's try and get this so it focuses properly, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to want to stop wiggling for one thing. Gosh, I'm shaky. Did I drop my diafix setting? Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. Let's try that again. There. So you got to be careful. Anyway, with any kind of spring like this, you don't want to put pressure on it. You don't want to try to work it into place by squeezing it or anything. For one thing, you can damage it, but also for another thing, you can easily launch the darn thing into space, and that is no good. So you want to basically use as little force as possible. Sorry, this is coming out of focus again. So just imagine, you can see what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck the first thing under there. Then I'm going to go and press on this, and I'm going to turn it. Woo! This is what I get for trying to do it by remote control here. Try that again. So again, we're going to go in. See, I'm trying to do this visually, and it's very tough. You don't want to use, I don't use tweezers for this process, because tweezers can easily make the spring go bink, and that is not what we want. Try this again. Sorry, folks. I don't think I've ever tried to do a Dia Shock setting while looking at what I'm doing through my phone. So that's my excuse for why this is pretty funky. Okay, see, because when you're doing that, it just fights you. Would you stop it? You want to hold that. You tuck in that one there. That's tucked in, and then you take the next one, you turn it. And you keep, and I usually keep this handy to make sure that it doesn't go off flying. Okay, so now you'll see we've got 2 of the 3 in there, right? Now I'm gonna try to just be clever. And again, I'm gonna be in here very gently pressing this way, and you turn. Come on, don't fight me. So there, see that tab now is in the notch. So you just press it down and you turn it back. Now at this point you can come over here inside and just slowly work it back and forth until this cutout mirrors that cutout, and there you go. That's how you do it. Rotico, your friend.
Anyway, that's how I do it. You know, like anything, you get that first tab tucked under, get the second tab, you get the first tab tucked under 1/3 of the way down so that the second tab is already right over that cutout, and then you can rotate it, and then you back off for a second, and then you get the third bit, and you carefully rotate that while pulling it like this till it's over that cutout, drop it in, turn it, line that up, and there you go, you're done. Greg Blundell, a hint, if I may. When cutting the spacers from the pen refill, this is talking about making spacers for bracelets to get them to fit. When cutting spacers for the pen refill, insert a wooden toothpick in the middle. This way you can roll the refill under the blade and the cut spacer stays on the toothpick. Hope this helps. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. Fantastic. I should have thought of that myself. Absolutely great idea. Thank you, Greg. Neil Sengupta. Hi, Spencer and Sabrina. Great video as always. Thank you. You guys look like you're in a horror film whenever Sebastian thumps around upstairs. He's been destroying houseplants. My question for next mail call is, we have Blue Tech here in the UK. Is it the same as Rotoco? I don't know. Sounds like it could well be. Also, I have bought a new SKX 007, and I really do wonder how the loom will patina in 10, 20, 30 years' time. Many thanks for answering my questions on the Savert in so much detail. Best wishes from England. We see that new Seiko loom, the super glowy loom. They've been using that since 1996, and so I mean we're well over 20 years now, and I have watches that are from that era. Heck, where did the box of watches go? I knocked over something, and they haven't patinaed at all. They don't seem to be. I think they will, with enough water intrusion and heat, turn black, but I haven't seen any like going tan or anything else like that. I mean, you can force it. People do that. They force it, and by, I think, putting dials in the oven. One guy makes fake patina by using tea, but I don't think naturally they'll change it all. Where is that? I don't know where that box of watches went. I don't know. Sabrina moved them. I have an orange dialed SKX 11J that's from, I think, 96 or 97, and it's in mint condition, and the loom is perfectly white. Dylan Schwan. Hope I got that pronunciation right. Okay, he is asking about Seiko 6138. I bought a watch just like this one, but after winding it, it suddenly stops after 3 to 5 minutes. So it only works for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I need to rewind it again for it to tick again. So it still only works for 3 to 5 minutes. Can someone help me? Like, do you guys know what the problem might be, or what it will cost for me to repair it at a watchmaker? What?
You're like,
I am?
yes.
I can reread the question more slowly.
No.
Basically, so your watch will only run for a few minutes. It has to be serviced. There's no like, oh, you need to reset the 3 to 5 minute clock. You know, it has to be serviced. What you're describing is not right. And so Seikos love to run, and if they're not running, something is extremely wrong. I would imagine that it's barely running because I don't know. I'd have to see it, but it needs service.
From Andrew Expectacion. I don't know. I did my best. I have one watch with 6139 movement, right? They just typoed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That stops when the chronograph is disengaged. Is this normal? Am I supposed to keep the chronograph complication to keep the watch running?
Mm-mm. There should be no difference. Like I service the 6139. Okay. I have the movement on the time grapher, and I test it. Initially, I'm looking at it with the chronograph running and the chronograph stopped. There should be no difference in the numbers. They should be exactly the same. So with the chronograph disengaged, the watch stops running. That means that there are a lot of adjustments and funky stuff in that chronograph bridge area. There's the operating levers and number of like spring tension things, but it also could be as simple as the chronograph wheel itself is damaged, or it's not lubricated correctly, so that middle portion isn't rotating when the main center section is stopped. It's not right. They should run exactly the same, one to the other, if it's stopped or not stopped. So you need to have a pro look at that one.
From Jerome Triplet. Question for next week's mail call. I've read lots of opinions about hand winding ETA Celita.
Yeah, Celita. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Automatic movements. There seems to be at least some consensus that due to the materials used in the winding mechanism, premature damage might result if you're winding too frequently. What are your thoughts on this? I have an Eterna with a Celita SW201 that I'd like to wear Monday through Friday for work. Will winding the Eterna every Monday cause excessive premature damage to the winding mechanism and main plate, or is it more a result of folks either winding every day or perhaps skipping out on proper maintenance? I love watching you all on Friday evening. It's become a start the weekend staple for me. My wife is a cat nut. We have 5, and she loves when yours steals some camera time. I can grab one right now.
Milo's busy over there yawning at us.
Sorry if this has been asked before. It hasn't. I haven't watched all your mail call back catalog. Thanks.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anybody to watch all of it. We have like 1,200 videos. Why would anybody watch that stuff? I'll never see those videos again. Hand winding. You'd think this stuff has to be robust enough that it can stand up to being used all the time. I mean, there are exceptions where the hand winding gearing is actually extremely lightly built, but that's because it's primarily an automatic watch that has hand winding as a backup. A Celita, which is basically a clone of the ETA, I've never seen one with the manual winding non-functional or worn out from hand winding. If you do it all the time and the watch isn't maintained, then yeah, I could see it being a problem, but Milo's offended.
He's trying to figure out how to get up here. Oh, he got scared of the towel.
Oh, scared of the towel. Oh no.
There, you can see his tail.
There you go. Milo's come to say hi. So anyway, it's like anything else. You want to avoid excess, but they're designed to be wound, and so I wouldn't worry that much about it.
From Smucker's Tea, been a while since I last commented. I was thinking about that, actually.
Wow.
I know. I have always heard that Seiko divers
Hey, I found my box of watches.
have the loom pip for the seconds hand placed on the counterbalance, so Seiko doesn't have to produce a different seconds hand for their automatic and quartz divers. Is there any truth in this, or did Seiko have other reasons?
I've never heard that before. The hand like that with the counterbalanced pip, males up front.
Oh.
The hand like this with the counterbalanced pip, my understanding is that it was invented initially for the 7548 and 7549 divers, specifically to make sure. This is the way of the house. Specifically to make sure that the hand itself was balanced. With the 7548s and 7549s, Seiko went through a lot of work to make sure that the movement was high torque, and that that it was not going to be affected by the weight of the hands, hour and the minute hands. They were real serious about that. So my belief has always been that they did it to make the watches more accurate. I love the SKX007. It's such a great watch. Such a great watch. Now this is, speaking of the loom, this one's from 1998. And you look at the color of the loom, it's not patinaed at all.
Smell. I bought a fancy bracelet with opal.
I thought you were going to make me smell Gwyneth Paltrow's candle.
No! See, there's my bracelet.
And it smells like things. Here, what does Milo think of the smell?
There's my new bracelet. Wow. Oh, wait, where am I? There I am. Hooray.
He's smelling it. He doesn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Cobra. Oh, cool. Good. Excellent. I'm excited. Okay, well, you ready for the next question?
Yeah, sure.
Missy?
Oh, they sent me a free gift.
Oh, that's nice. Gifts are important. So Aaron Cobra he's Psychosis on eBay, and he is starting to fill a niche for parts that need to be made but aren't being made. This is, I've always said about aftermarket parts that, Seiko's not making them anymore, and when the point comes that somebody is making a decent one-to-one recreation of a part, I have no problem using it. This is one such example. These crowns, 6139, 6000X crowns, and they're perfect. The dip is exactly right. The threading and the knurling is exactly right. They're excellent. So now 3 of the 4 parts to make a stem for a true pogue are available, and the quality is great. The only one that's missing now is the actual compound stem, not compound. The stem that they use. Nobody makes them, and I don't have that many, and they're expensive and hard to find. The heck was that?
Can you tie this on me?
Oh sure. But anyway, so why don't you read the next question?
From Watch This. Totally agree about the stamped caseback. I have a lovely Seiko 7C 436A00 with an amazing caseback. It contrasts the Pelagos LHD I owned and subsequently let go. Had this kind of etching caseback. On the same 2 watches, the titanium on the Seiko seemed to be nearly unscratchable, whereas the Pelagos, is that how you pronounce it?
Pelagos? I don't know.
Pelagos sounds better.
Is that okay?
A little tighter.
Okay.
Where was I? The laser technique just looks and feels cheap somehow. Same for me with the old Rolex bracelet stamped clasps in comparison to the more modern laser engraved ones. Having been to Asia and seen that even the fakers can do this laser etched thing, it just feels like it lacks a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
Great video here. Getting into the nitty gritty. Don't believe in influencer designed watches. No, they're so boring.
They're so boring, and they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
We're gonna shake up the industry. No, you weren't.
No, they're boring. I can see the risk for any brand, but they might be wise to pay attention to someone with your level of appreciation.
You know who does a really good job, of course, is Steven of Raven Watches. His stuff is really nice. I like how his material looks a lot. Yeah, I tell you, the stamped casebacks, that's the way that it is, the way that these look, because the information holds up, and also over time as it wears, it changes appearance and it gives it a personality. The laser etch stuff just looks cheap to me. I don't like it at all.
Now, what are the one? It's like Movado or something.
Movado?
Something
The
like that.
museum watch.
Yeah, they're so boring.
Yep.
From Ballbrain Boy. Hey Spencer, my granddad just gave me a bag of watches. Really, I love them. I have got a very Scimitar Seiko. Oh, Jesus. Regatta watch from 1969. It is the exact same as yours, although the dial is a sunburst silver. Just thought I would ask if you know anything about, because I'm really interested and love the watch.
Yeah, so you've got a 6119 rally diver. I'm sorry, a yacht timer. It's the one with the double bezels, inner indicator ring, outer bezel. They're cool. Seiko made them for not a terribly long amount of time. There were a couple variants of them. I've never seen one that I can remember with a silver dial, but I don't know everything. They're super cool. 6119 is a good movement. It takes servicing very well. It's robust. Once they're serviced, they will be accurate and durable. The crystals, we have the crystals. They're great watches. What else did your grandfather have in that box of watches?
From Omkar Chandon, are these made in China or America?
Talking about Uncle Seiko's bracelets, they're not made in America. I believe for manufacturing reasons they're made overseas, but you would have to ask Larry himself directly. But they are not made in the United States. I'm not aware of any manufacturer that makes that kind of stuff in the United States anymore. I'm extremely sorry to say. I want to know where the JB Champion factory was. That was the last great American bracelet company. I mean, Speidel still exists, but I don't know where their stuff is made. Anyway. Milo, why are you so fuzzy?
From Carlos Chavez. Hello, Spencer and Sabrina. I have a question. I recently bought a Seiko 7T326E69. What are your thoughts on the movement? And the serial number is 380326. What month and year would that be? And also, I just recently noticed the chronograph hand doesn't fully land on the 12 mark. It's maybe 3 seconds off from the 12 mark. What do you think this is? Thanks in advance and looking forward to the car videos.
With the hand, you should be able to individually adjust every single hand. There should be a way to pull the crown and hit whatever the correct button is, and you can advance each particular hand as you need. 17 movement they're fine movements. It's a latter-day Seiko chronograph movement. Seiko made billions of them, and they're successful. They can be maintained. Typically, they're not maintained. The gears and stuff are plastic. They're not jeweled, but a quartz movement doesn't really need to be jeweled. They use a kind of plastic that they call self-lubricating, so it does its own thing. You said the first two digits are 83, so it's August of 3. So the 17, I mean, that's a little after my time. Maybe the 90s, so maybe 93, possibly 2003, maybe 2013. But I'm not honestly sure. I'd have to look at it and really know when it was made. But probably the 90s, but I don't know.
As long as he doesn't kill my plants, I can deal with anything.
He's running around with the dog, right?
I think so. From Jay McCracken. I was a special operations member in Vietnam, and my watch that I was issued had a dull, flat color frame and back also. My group never received these watches due to the highly reflective in daylight.
Huh, interesting. So you were special operations. This was a comment on the MACV SOG. This guy was special operations, and he says that he did not receive these Seikos. He said they weren't the high polish cases, which were reflective, but his was matte. So the actual service watches, like the Bulova service watches, the Benner service watches, they have a matte finish, like a Parkerized case, and they're not reflective at all. Do you have a picture of your watch, sir? If you could send me an email or make a comment with a picture, that'd be great. I'd love to know what you've got, and it's very interesting to hear your perspective that you did not get one of these Seiko, Black Ops watches that are written about.
From RG. Hi SNS. Firstly, let's all not forget to smash that like button because you guys deserve it.
Smash that like button.
Also, I was surprised to see that KVW channel doesn't show up in the search for vintage watches on YouTube. Not enough people like us, I guess. It does show up under Vintage Seiko, though. Maybe an easy fix is to make your channel a bit more discoverable for watch enthusiasts.
Okay, that's very interesting. So we need to do some research and find out why we're not showing up for vintage watches.
Now to the traditional lightning quiz.
Uh-oh.
1, NATO or leather?
Leather.
Yeah, even though I like cows. I don't like snakes, so...
I don't like NATOs. I like Zulus, but I don't like the Zulus with all of the crazy heavy metal buckle stuff. Just a very simple, single, one-piece cloth strap, actually, I like.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
That's how we met!
I mean, we're busy watching two different Star Wars Trek series now.
Star Wars Trek?
Well, we are also watching Star Wars because we're also watching Mandalorian if it was on.
Well, I'm watching it at the gym, and so are you. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, yes, we met online through Star Trek stuff. So, yep. Star Trek. Mm-hmm. Sapphire or Hesalite? What's that?
Hesalite.
What is it?
Hesalite is like the Omega Speedmaster. It's got that domed plastic crystal. It's a crystal called Hesalite, and so it's light, it's strong, it polishes nicely, and it is what it is. So my only choices are Sapphire or Hesalite. Probably Hesalite, I guess, but I don't.
You hate Sapphire.
I don't hate Sapphire. It's just, it annoys me that it shatters, and I think that it's overrated. But that's me.
Sua or Daini?
Sua.
Sushi or taco?
Sushi. Oh God, I love tacos.
Tacos for me.
Sushi is a sometimes thing. Tacos are an always thing. Yes. I'll change my answer. I'll go to taco.
Date or no date?
Date.
F-150 or Cybertruck?
F-150, because then you put more rocks in it. Cybertruck,
What's the Cybertruck?
it's Tesla's new
Oh,
truck.
that's
It looks like a
stupid thing?
doorstop.
Oh, I say GMC.
Yeah.
Modern Grand Seiko or Rolex?
Modern Grand Seiko, actually, because I think modern Rolex, it's too blingy. It looks too much like a fashion watch to me. Modern Grand Seiko, they are, some of them are beautifully styled, and have some really nice, lovely things, and they can be a little blingy, but I would take one of those. Like people put up pictures of their new. Oh, I just got my, my new GMT Master Batman or whatever the heck it is, and I look at them and they're attractive watches, but they're really fancy and really kind of shiny, and I prefer watches that look a little more artistic and toolish. But that's me. Again, that's me. I'm not making a pronouncement. That's just my opinion.
Beer or wine?
Neither.
He doesn't drink.
I don't drink. Diet Coke.
I used to like wine, and then I drank too much, and I got sick, and now I don't want
Christmas
it anymore.
party.
And I can't even think of. I used to be a wine mom, and now I'm a seltzer mom. I don't mind beer though, which works out fine.
You had a margarita the other day.
I didn't get sick on a margarita. So I'll pick beer because we live here and there's lots of beer. Bullhead 6138 or Citizen 8110.
Bullhead. Citizens are too small for me, for my wrist. Was that the end of it?
That's it.
Wow. Thank you for the lightning questions. I appreciate it. That's always fun. Yeah, I mean, I like the Citizens. The tech is great. The movements are really nice, but they're just too small for me. So I don't wear them. But I don't really wear bullheads either.
No, but those were your choices.
Those are my choices. Yeah, I'd have to go with bullhead. I'm sorry. Because 6138s, they're big watches. They're big, chunky watches. And so, I mean, they fit. And they're nice size. Citizen's too small. Okay. Well, I think that's about it. I didn't have a lot of extra video segments. In theory, it's possible that on Sunday I may be able to get some work done on the MG, but I don't know. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. And it's the weekend. Oh, and tomorrow is Australia Day?
Yes.
Tomorrow's Australia Day.
So happy Australia Day to all you Australians. I'm going to try, we have an Australian pie place, and the guy is from Australia. It's not just some American saying, I can do this thing. And they're having, I think they're called Lamingtons, and I've never had one. Every single year, they only have them on Australia Day. And every year I'm like, I'm going to get one, and then they sell out. So I'm going to be there bright and early and be like, give me them all.
That's a good idea. Yes. I think that's awesome. James Duffy Sandwich Time channel, you should have one of these pies. They're fantastic. They're not a sandwich, but they are a pie, so they have bread material on the top and the bottom with stuff in the middle. If you do want, I think it's possible that they may ship, but if not, they freeze beautifully and then you can heat them up again. And if you want one, we can get one, freeze it solid, and then I can put it into a styrofoam box with freezer packs around it, and we can overnight it to you, and then you can put it in the oven.
You're funny.
Waltzing Kangaroo.
Yep.
In Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yep.
Okay, that's it.
Goodbye.
Bye.